Okay, you can't make this stuff up. You can't do it, friends. You can't. The clown show entered Washington, D.C. yesterday, and the whole cast of characters was there. Donald Trump and Elon Musk and the merry band of billionaires. Now, if you're here and you just tuned into this channel, and if you're looking for someone to powder Donald Trump's rear end or kiss his rear end, that's not going to happen on this channel. So unless you want to hear the truth about what's happening, there's plenty of people out there that are going to powder his rear end and have been kissing it for decades. Go find that channel. For the rest of you, I want to say that we're in trouble. I digress. Now, a lot of people came from all over the place to see the Donald be sworn in. Oklahoma, I saw people from Oklahoma being interviewed. We drove here. Some flew. Some probably hiked, for all I know. Came in the cold to see their president sworn in. And, of course, they never did get to see that because they were outside in the cold and all the rich people were inside where it was warm. Now, brings to mind a couple of presidents, at least two that I know that had a bitter cold inaugurations. Barack Obama, he had a trench coat on, and he had some of the biggest crowds in history. Stood out in the cold like a man and took the oath. John F. Kennedy didn't even wear an overcoat. He was out there in the cold without an overcoat. Talk about a manly man. And yet Donald couldn't handle the cold. It was too cold for him. Now, to me, that's not a good sign to start off with. Plus, it's my understanding that he did not put his hand on the Bible. Now, for Christians like me, and maybe those of you that are Christians out there that are behind him, maybe you should find out why he didn't. And don't make an excuse like everybody does. I'm tired of the excuses. I digress. So what else happened here? Okay, so right off the bat, an MSN article, tech billionaires take center stage at Trump's inauguration. What are the odds of that? Who would have thunk it? Tech billionaires, including Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jeff Bezos, were given prime positions at Donald Trump's inauguration Monday in an unprecedented demonstration of their power and influence on U.S. politics. Would you have realized that? I sure didn't. Well, there's another article, MSNBC. Before he's sworn in, Trump is already breaking campaign promises. No, it can't be true. It's MSNBC. Probably not true, right? Because it's all fake news. If it doesn't come from Fox or from Newsmax or from Mark Levin or Sean Hannity or some other moron, it's fake news. Well, it's not. Ordinarily, presidents have to wait until they're in Oval Office before they start breaking campaign promises. Donald Trump, however, got the ball rolling well before Inauguration Day. As a candidate, for example, the Republican promised to lower grocery prices. Now, if you remember, he was on a couple of interviews and he actually created the word grocery instantly. Created it. New word. No one was ever using it before. Now they will. And he got elected because of grocery prices. The price of eggs. He got elected. Well, as a president-elect, he said that it would be very hard to lower grocery prices and that he's no longer sure whether he'll be able to achieve the goal. Well, it seemed like one of the primary reasons you said you got elected. If you listen to my channel, I could have told you months ago, years ago, that you just can't go in and lower prices. There's economics behind it. Of course, economics he has no understanding of. He's playing three-dimensional chess. I'm sure he does understand something. As a candidate, Trump also said Elon Musk would uncover ways to cut at least $2 trillion from the federal budget. Now, let me stop there. Those of you that have problems, say you are fighting some illness and you can't work, if you are poor, if you are on the edge of society and you have two jobs and you need assistance from the government, from somebody, those assistance programs are what they were going to cut. Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid, SNAP payments, you name it, they were going to cut those. So that's where they were going to get the tax cuts. See, because what he wants to do is give a tax break, again, to billionaires that were all sitting there behind him at the inauguration. I digress. Okay? As a president-elect, he saw his GOP mega donor, Elon Musk, tell the public that $2 trillion figure was more of a best-case outcome than a realistic goal, adding that there might still be a good shot at achieving half of the incoming president's goal. Okay, so why did you say $2 trillion from the start if it was not going to be possible? Because you see, the people who support you, they want to cut everybody's benefits. People who are doing okay think that anybody that gets benefits doesn't deserve it. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of people that may not deserve it. Maybe they're just not good people and they're scamming the system. But I want to tell you, most people, and I've worked in a nonprofit before for a food bank. I ran a food bank here in Washington County. And I will tell you that most of those people, the largest number of those people, need help. If you want to feel good about yourself that someone's getting kicked off, fine. You can't just kick off one. They're going to kick off as many as they can, if not everybody. I feel better. Okay, perhaps most important of all was Trump's election season declaration, and if voters backed him, he would successfully broker an end to Russia's war in Ukraine. This would happen, the Republican boasted, during his transition period and within 24 hours. He even repeated the vow during his presidential debate with Vice President Kamala Harris, assuring Americans that I will get it settled before I even become president. His envoy to Russia, General Kellogg, who I'm not sure knows what's going on either, but he now admits that there's no way you're going to do it in 24 hours, maybe 6 months. Maybe. Now, I know a lot about this war, and I can tell you that the only thing that Trump's going to be able to do is to tell Putin, take what you want and call it a draw. Because, see, Trump doesn't want to deal with geopolitics. He really doesn't. He just wants to make orders to everybody in the world. You see, and his followers want him to. You see, because everybody in the world's not us. We're the best. We're the exceptional people. So Europeans and Russians and Chinese and Iranians and Arabs are all less than humans to these people. They don't want to deal with these people. Just put them aside. America first. As people in Gaza die more and more every day, as children die, as wars pop up everywhere now. The war with China will start at some point. At some point. We are already in an economic war with them. And his new or next phase is these tariffs. And I did not, it's my fault, I didn't look here to see if the tariffs began, if he signed those into law yet. I did not hear that. But they're coming. If they're not already here. And I don't know. And of course, this is an economic war. Keep in mind, the tariffs he wants to place are not just on specific items where there's an imbalance. He's going to war economically with the world. That's his way of solving things. There's no negotiation here, real negotiation. His negotiation is he threatens you, makes you think he's coming in with the army, and then you'll say, oh, we can't have the American army coming in here, so what do you want? What do you want? That's his way to negotiate. That's how you want to negotiate with allies, with friends, with other countries you partner with around the world. We do have to partner with people around the world. We have to. They're humans. They're our brothers and sisters in this big globe that God created. But no, they're enemies. Everybody's an enemy. Then we have this, and I got to show you the picture. Okay, then we have this. This was a salute that Elon Musk gave the MAGA supporters. And before this salute, and I'm not going to play the video, I won't play these clowns on video on my channel, but he hit his heart first, put his hand to his heart, and then did this salute. Now, what do you think this salute is? Anybody? You know where I'm going with this. People across the globe think this was a Nazi salute. Now, why would they think that? Well, it looked pretty much like a Nazi salute. Now, of course, Elon Musk denied this, and of course he would, and maybe it wasn't. Listen, I'm a tough nut to crack here sometimes, but maybe it wasn't. It looks like it. Now, many people got on some talk shows and said, well, that's from the Roman times. Well, they didn't really understand that Benito Mussolini took that salute from the Romans, used it in Italy as the fascist Nazi salute. So that's where it started. So, yeah, that isn't a good example of maybe you want to use on national television, that it was the Romans. Well, no, it wasn't the Romans. In Germany, this salute is illegal. Now, there are articles across the world, people talking about this. A lot of supporters back these guys. And if these guys, and as Trump said, if he shot someone in front of Times Square, he would get off. He said that in one of his tirades a while back. He believes that. You see, those of you that voted for him, you let this go, sadly, because you think that God had something to do with him getting into the office. I respectfully disagree with that. See, here in America, we have free choice. We elect the leaders. We are given that responsibility as a country, as a government. Everybody who has that around the world has to do that. Some less fair than others. Some don't get that right at all to elect their leaders freely. But we do. It's a bad system. Both parties are corrupt. Both parties are screwed up. But this is what we do. We chose. But see, what we wanted to do is we hit all the flaws of Donald Trump. Many did. They hit them all. And they want to hide the flaws of Elon Musk. Elon Musk's the last person in the world you should have anywhere near Washington, D.C. Any oligarch. But this is an administration of oligarchs. Because you're having an oligarchical takeover. We're leading headfirst into authoritarianism. And maybe beyond. This salute may not have been a Nazi salute, but it came from the same part of his heart, that evil part of his heart, this evil man as far as I'm concerned. He was also telling the rest of the world by saluting his followers that we got you, we beat you, take that. It was a collective FU to the rest of the world, those two salutes he did. It should never have happened, sure, but he's an emotional guy. He is a guy that knows when he's got the upper hand. He was jumping on stage so often, it made me like wondering if he was a Cracker Jack or something. Cracker Jack should jump? Not sure. So I don't believe him. I think in his heart of hearts, that was his way of saying F you to this world, to our country, to those that did not support him or Donald Trump. Why do I believe that? Because I know this was a big deal to the fascists of this world. There were actually articles with right-wing leaning Nazi groups were talking about this salute in this country. They were applauding it. Where does this go from here, folks? Well, the thing is, as I've been saying on every program, all of us have to be aware of what's going on. We have to mount a resistance. We have to speak for those who can't speak for themselves, for those that don't have any voice, for those that these billionaires are going to target because those people cannot fight back. There's millions of them. And it's time for all of us to join together, right and left, those who still have common sense left, that have dignity, that have respect for people of all color, of all persuasions. It's time to speak for them, to make a stance against evil, to make a stance against authoritarianism. If we don't, who will? There's no one left. We're the last line of defense. Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Share the video. It's important. I'll be back tomorrow. God bless you, and I'll see you next time right here on the David Tomsik Show.